Ghana's 1992 constitution has not been amended for some time. There are now calls for an urgent review to meet the needs of the time. A report by a commission set up by former President Mills to review the constitution has been sitting on a shelf and has not been implemented. The Ministry of Parliamentary Affairs under Osei Mensah was sought to get this underway and put together a constitutional review consultative committee chaired by a lecturer at the University of Ghana Law School, Madam Clara Berry Kasati. The committee is now recommending, among others, that criminal trials must start within 6 months after a suspect is arrested, recommending an end to the cycle of setting up committees to review salaries of Article 71 office holders and instead institute a formula. According to the committee, MPs who are appointed ministers must resign from Parliament, while also asking for appointments to SHRAJ, EC and the Auditor General be approved by Parliament.
The CRC recommended that the time be reduced from 48 hours. They are required to be brought before a court within 48 hours. The recommendation is that it should be reduced to 24 hours, and we are agreed on it.
Former Minority Leader Haruna Idrisu wants any review of the Constitution to diminish the wide powers of the President and end the winner-takes-all phenomenon.
Winner take away all. We must do away with that in the future constitution of Ghana. This winner take away all. It must be taken away so that Ghana can have a proportional kind of representative government like what pertains in South Africa. We also must water down the powers of the president. So Clara, I'm agitating with your thought on it. But go further. Your group must do cross-jurisdictional study. Kenya have amended to decouple minister from MP. What they have observed is that those ministers who are not MPs don't care more about constituents than those who are MPs who want, because of blackmail, they will perform in order to keep the seat.
Retired Supreme Court Judge Jones Duche also wants the jurisdiction of the Supreme Court reduced.
We have to decide whether we want all our ministers to come from Parliament or to be outside Parliament. This hybrid for me will not work. We have been talking a lot about Supreme Court appointments, capping the Supreme Court. Having just exited the court, I know that my colleagues will do a yeoman's job because the Constitution has given them too many jurisdictions. Too many. And my younger brother who is here will bear me out. So the Constitution has to look at maybe reducing the jurisdiction of the Supreme Court. You can limit some of the civil appeals.
But with the country in an election season and with barely 3 months to an election, Minister for Parliamentary Affairs Osei Mensah says this should not stop the review from going ahead.
I've heard people opine that in an election year, there's not much that can be done when it comes to constitutional amendment. With the greatest respect, I beg to differ. All the amendments to the 1992 Republican Constitution happened in 1996, after the election, in November and December. All the amendments happened in 1996, after the presidential and general elections. So I believe that we are not stopped by time to do the consultation that we intend to continue today.
The stakeholders consultation workshop was to afford stakeholders the opportunity to review the report of the CRCC and build consensus ahead of its implementation.